Now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, exclusively here as always on the Casa D18 Studios channel. I, of course, am your host, the Renegade JJ Williams, and today we kick off another week of movies that star musicians. And today we're going to take a look at the cult classic Rock and Roll High School, starring PJ Soles, the Ramones, Vince Van Patten, Clint Howard, Day Young, Mary Woronoff, Paul Bartel, Dick Miller, and Don Steele. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me here once again for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. As I said in the introduction, it's Monday, so it's time to kick off another week of movies that star musicians, and today we're going to take a look at the cult classic Rock and Roll High School. Now, our movie takes place in 1980 as Vince Lombardi High School keeps losing principals due to nervous breakdowns because of the students' love of rock and roll and their disregard for education. The leader of the students, Riff Randell, is the biggest Ramones fan at the school and is also the worst behavioral problem due to the fact that her disciplinary record fills an entire filing cabinet. She waits in line for 3 days in order to buy tickets to see the Ramones, hoping to meet Joey, the lead singer, so that she can give him a song that she wrote for the band entitled Rock and Roll High School. However, when the tyrannical principal, Togar, takes her ticket away, Riff and her best friend, Kate Rambeau, have to find another way to meet their heroes. They are able to win a radio contest, and Riff succeeds in delivering her song to Joey Ramone. But the next day, Principal Togar and a group of parents attempt to burn a pile of rock records. In response, the students, as well as the Ramones themselves, who are made honorary students of Vince Lombardi High School, overthrow the teachers and hall monitors in order to take over the high school, with Principal Togar asking the band, "Do your parents know you're the Ramones?" When the police are summoned and demand that the students evacuate the building, the students do so. But then the students and the Ramones burn down the school as a final act of youthful rebellion as our movie comes to its close. I apologize to everybody if the synopsis seemed short. It's what was available to me on Wikipedia, and I could have taken some of my own notes, but at the end of the day, that's really everything that happened in the movie. I mean, there was a subtle subplot of Kate and another boy having a little bit of a love story, but aside from that, what you heard was the gist of the movie. Obsessed fan wants to meet the band, give them a song, everyone lives happily ever after. Antics ensue, principal doesn't like it. It's really kind of just your standard teenage rebellion film. And I had heard of this movie before, but it was really my girlfriend who introduced me to this film. We found it one day at Frankenson's, a collectible store that I've mentioned a few times before across the multiverse of media. It's essentially a warehouse with different vendors that sell pop culture memorabilia, comic books, anime, wrestling, movies, sci-fi, horror, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, etc., cards, the like. Disneyana, you name it. And one of the vendors just happened to have this on a Steelbook Blu-ray. And my girlfriend's a huge fan of it. She loves PJ Soles in it. In fact, when I met PJ Soles a couple years ago as part of a Halloween thing, I tried to get an 8x10 or something of her from Rock and Roll High School for my girlfriend, but she didn't have any of those on her, as she was basically just trying to cater to the Halloween crowd. Bummer. But she wanted this movie because she saw it there. She loved it. And I had never seen it before. So we get it home and we watch it the first time. And I'm like, how have I never seen this before? It really is just like my type of movie. Like everything about it, the teen angst, the rock and roll, the rebellion, the musical appearances, everything about it is my style. So why had I never seen it before? And I thought about it and it's like, it wasn't until maybe the last 20 years where I really started to appreciate the Ramones music. You know, growing up in the 80s, I had heard some of their stuff before and I always just kind of dismissed it because at that age I was into other stuff. But as you grow, as you mature, as your tastes change, you start to expand your horizons to other stuff. And I enjoyed the Ramones music. There's not a song in the movie that I don't like theirs. They've got stuff like Sheila is a punk rocker. They've got Blitzkrieg Bop. They've got their version of California Sun. Obviously, the title track, Rock and Roll High School. There's other songs in it from original artists. You get Alice Cooper, School's Out. You get Chuck Berry, School Days or Hail, Hail, Rock and Roll. You get Smoking in the Boys' Room by Brownsville Station. The soundtrack is tremendous. The acting is cheesy, but it's a 1979 film that's set in 1980, so it's not going to be, it's going to be a little on the corny side. This is literally a year removed from Halloween for PJ Souls. So she's still kind of riding that wave of momentum from the first Halloween movie. But it's a fun little teenage rebellion musical romp through that time period. The Burning Records, very reminiscent of stuff that happened in the 60s. I think about the Beatles record burnings that were held when John made the statement about the band being bigger than Jesus, which was taken completely out of context. It's fun, and if you've never seen the movie, then I definitely recommend that you see it and you watch it. You experience it at least once. This was my second time watching it for this because I watched it with my girlfriend as soon as we got it. And then we were supposed to watch it this time, me, her, and her daughter, but there were too much other things going on. So I just watched it by myself because I had to get it done for today. I couldn't postpone it. And it was just as fun. I highly recommend this film. I think anybody out there that's a fan of punk rock, the Ramones, PJ Souls, Clint Howard is in it. I mean, Ron Howard's little brother is a good chunk role in here. Vince Van Patten, who I know best for being a commentator on the World Poker Tour, is a role in it. He's the gentleman that has the romantic interest and the love story angle with Kate Rambeau's character, that. So he's a very integral part of the story as well. It's just a lot of fun, and I think that you guys need to give it a look. When it comes to my rating for this film, Rock and Roll High School gets 4 out of 5 stars, and I have a feeling that with each repeated viewing in the future, it's just going to move up my ladder as far as movies that I love, movies that I enjoy. I'm curious to know, though, what you guys think of Rock and Roll High School. Let me know. If you're watching the premiere, leave your thoughts and comments over here. And if you're watching on demand later in the day, leave your thoughts and comments down here. Let's have that conversation, that discussion, that debate, that interaction that I'm always asking you guys for in the comments below. And today's Monday, so we still got a lot of stuff coming this week. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow, right here to the Casa D18 Studios channels, as we once again open up the doors for Stat Boy Sports Bar, featuring Dory Lou. The food is hot, the beer is ice cold, and the seats are warm, so pull up a bar stool and engage in some professional sports conversation with your barkeeps, Stat Boy Mike and Dory Lou. The XFL and the NHL are starting to push towards the playoffs, so there's going to be a lot of talk about that this week on Stat Boy Sports Bar, plus so much more. You never know what the Stat Boy has in store. And then later on in the evening, here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, the Jeff Meacham Network, and across the Jeff Meacham Network multiverse of media, it'll be time for the Jeff Meacham Network's flagship show, Talk Wrestling or Anything with Jeff Meacham. 7:05 Pacific, 10:05 Eastern, immediately following WWE NXT. And the content doesn't end there, folks. The next time you'll see me here for Renegades Reviews on the Casa D18 Studios channel, we will be discussing the iconic 9 to 5, starring Jane Fonda, Lily Tomlin, Dolly Parton, Dabney Coleman, Elizabeth Wilson, and Sterling Hayden. You don't want to miss out on any of that content right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, on the Jeff Meacham Network, across the Jeff Meacham Network multiverse of media. So much good stuff in store here this week. 9 to 5 on Renegades Reviews, Stat Boy Sports Bar featuring Dory Lou, Talk Wrestling or Anything, and so much more in store. So make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure that notification bell is turned on so you don't miss out anytime a video drops right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel or anytime we go live, as is the case with Stat Boy Sports Bar, Open Mic Night, pay-per-view PLE coverage, etc. Share these videos with your family, friends, loved ones, coworkers, movie fanatics, cinephiles in your life, fans of the Ramones, fans of PJ Souls, fans of rock and roll movies, fans of school movies, fans of Clint Howard or Vince Van Patten or the World Poker Tour. Anybody you can think of that would enjoy this content in this video, share it with them. It's the only way we're going to keep my visibility in YouTube's algorithms now that we are, in fact, a monetized channel. Thank you once again to everyone out there who joined me and tuned in today and that helped me get to where I am today, where I am monetized. It means so much more to me than you guys will ever know. And I will see you guys next time.